This podcast is brought to you by Renewal by Andersen of Central Pennsylvania. It's the spooky season, but updating your home with new windows and doors doesn't have to be scary. Right now at Renewal by Andersen of Central Pennsylvania, you can get one window or door and get another window or door at 40% off, and an additional $200 off your project to boot. Call 717-727-7558 or drop by rbacentralpa.com/deals to get on this one now. Chester's taking Philly's trash, and people are not happy about it. In Pittsburgh, experts are saying predatory property wholesalers are a nationwide issue. This program wants more meadows around. And here's a question. How do you kill something that's undead? I'm Claudia Dimuro, and you're listening to Today in a PA. The city of Chester takes a portion of Philadelphia's trash, reports Why. And residents let officials know they're not exactly happy about it at a city council hearing that took place on Wednesday. This trash goes to the Covanta incinerator, where it burns in order to be converted to energy. But according to some residents, this burning is happening as the area's cancer rates are rising. Many additionally voiced the opinion that it's Philly's trash, so Philly should deal with it. Covanta, on its end, stated it's in compliance with all state and federal regulations to make sure the air around Chester is safe. Said one resident, quote, "Philadelphia must decide if Chester is your neighbor or your dumping ground." The Pittsburgh Community Reinvestment Group told city council members this week that the growing trend of residential property wholesalers, corporations that buy up homes and sell, lease, or use them for Airbnbs, isn't happening exclusively to Pittsburgh, reports the Tribune Review. Rather, it is, in fact, says Drexel University researcher Ben Price, quote, happening nationwide. This podcast previously reported on a PCRG report that found how nearly 25% of Pittsburgh home sales involved these wholesalers in 2021, up by almost 10% since 2010. Price explains that these predatory practices are extremely unregulated. They also typically target vulnerable populations like low-income households or seniors with offers of fast cash, although it's revealed later on they by no means got a fair value for their property. On top of that, wholesalers box out individuals looking to get homes and drive up prices. There's currently proposed legislation in Pittsburgh that would require these wholesalers to get an annual lease, an insurance requirement, and a background check, and to pay a $200 licensing fee. It could go up for a preliminary vote as early as next week. The State Department of Conservation and Natural Resources wants more meadows around, states Why. Which is why the department's been running a program since 2020 that encourages people, businesses, and nonprofits to convert their lawns into meadows. According to environmentalists, turf landscapes can contribute to runoff pollution as well as the reduction of natural habitats for pollinators and birds. Meadows, on the other hand, are far more beneficial, environmentally speaking, and also prevent flooding. They're a lot easier on the eyes, too. Interested parties could get funding for the landscape work it would require for this conversion. For more information, click on the related podcast article. Edmondo Crimi is a rare arts dealer based out of Bucks County, says PennLive. And Crimi plans on showing some of the rarer items he has, and the creepiest, one might say, at the Vampire Art Museum and Paranormal Activity. Based out of his old home in Buckingham Township, Crimi's new museum showcases things like vampire stakes, although he asks the thought-provoking question, quote, how do you kill something that's undead? Haunted dolls, demonic paintings, and a model ship he claims moves all on its own. For him, the museum's a way to look at the paranormal in a serious light. And probably to see things you don't see every day, too. The museum opens up for one day this weekend, as it so happens, so go ahead and see that podcast article again if you're interested in going. Happy Friday! To stay up to date over the weekend, go ahead and drop by PennLive.com. And please remember to leave this podcast a rating and to share it around with family and friends. Thanks ahead of time, and of course, thanks for sticking with us. I'm Claudia Dimuro, and I'll talk to you next week for more Today in a PA. This podcast is brought to you by Renewal by Andersen of Central Pennsylvania. It's the spooky season, but updating your home with new windows and doors doesn't have to be scary. Right now at Renewal by Andersen of Central Pennsylvania, you can get one window or door and get another window or door at 40% off, and an additional $200 off your project to boot. Call 717-727-7558 or drop by rbacentralpa.com/deals to get on this one now.